Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my live talk show. Before I start today's sharing, I have to apologize about yesterday's live. Due to technical problems, I think you couldn't hear my words speaking, right? So I would like to do this yesterday's sharing again. So please bear in mind that this is the second, how to say, time. But anyway, I deeply apologize about yesterday's problem. Okay? Okay. Yesterday, actually, I was talking about the movement of US dollar against Japanese yen and then the gold price as well. But these couple of weeks, price movement was so hectic. Let's move on to my PowerPoint. I mentioned widely fluctuating US dollar and Japanese yen. If these currency pair move hectically, widely, this will influence to the gold price, right? Like yesterday, okay? So let's start from the here. Japan Financial Times leak news. Around 26th of October, the latter part of the October, last month, many people were talking about BOJ, Bank of Japan, might change the monetary policy from easing to tightening by changing the yield curve control. And if they change the yield curve control, YCC, many people will start to buy Japanese yen because interest rate will slightly going up to the plus minus 1% or more, depends on the situation. This is our understanding how BOJ will deal with this interest rate. And then 27th of October, midnight, our Japanese Financial Times, we call it the Nikkei Shimbun. This is quite a reputable newspaper company in Japan. And then during the New York session, they wrote some digital articles in the midnight. And then Nikkei Shimbun, Japan Financial Times, mentioned that Bank of Japan is now discussing about the yield curve control. Since we hear this, since we read these articles, and overseas trader, particularly American trader, they start to, how to say, sell US dollar very drastically. And then until that moment, you see, even the market was not so strong. US dollar was traded around 150 to sometimes 149, 700. But since that articles came out from Japan Financial Times, price went down to drastically 148, 780. This is quite a big down, okay? And then next morning, the governor of BOJ, Bank of Japan, Mr. Ueda, mentioned that BOJ will not change the monetary policy. They will still remain the same of the monetary easing. But if the situation is changing, they might consider to change the yield curve control. So this is quite the dovish news. So dollar went up to the 151.701. Okay, one day before, dollar went down to 148.780 because of the leak information from the Japan Financial Times. But next day, BOJ monetary policy remained the same. Mr. Ueda mentioned this. So market rebounded up to 151.701. Too much has a fluctuation, okay? Just one day, different. we have such a big differences. And then after that, FOMC, the Federal Reserve Bank, started to mention about the dovish opinions on the interest rate. Everybody was so far expected that FF rate will be remain the same, but there might be some possibility that FRB will increase the interest rate. But Mr. Powell mentioned very dovish. So since then, the US dollar price against Japanese yen from 151 to 701, going down to this 152.80. And unfortunately, MFP, non-farm payroll figure, was not so good. That was a negative surprise. So the US dollar continuously going down to this level, 149, 317. So up to from here, this level to this level, the dollar was so fluctuating, and the difference is nearly 3 yen range. Okay, supposed say, if you have one lot dollar against the Japanese yen around this level, and then you just leave that the position up to 151.701, I think you can make 2,500 to about 2,500 US dollars profit. But of course, we are human beings. Once we hear any kinds of data announcement or remarks from the officer or committee member of the FRB, we might change the trading. So market sentiment was so hectic, okay? But again, okay, the day before yesterday, the dollar went up to, 3 days ago, sorry. Dollar went up to the nearly 152. This is a record high, okay? Nearly 152. But yesterday, as you know, CPI was announced at and the inflation rate becoming slowed down. So once we hear this slowdown of the inflation rate, CPI, both sticky price CPI and then the flexible or price CPI were slowed down. So investor decided to sell US dollar, and then they come down to nearly yesterday 100, just to break the 150 yen level. So many news affects to this dollar yen market. Of course, if the dollar yen market moves, your very important gold asset also will be influenced. So yesterday, CPI was narrowed down, slowed down. So I think you made a tremendous profit, right? More than 50 pips, I think you gained from this the market, because US dollar went down to very sharply. So as I mentioned to you many times, gold and US dollar negative correlation. If the US dollar going down, of course, gold price will go up. Okay, so I guess you made a good profit, right? Congratulations. But of course, if you are shorter, shorter means selling the position, okay? You suffered a lot. But don't worry, okay? Like this, you see, so many down, up, and down, right? Every movement, those are movement, okay? Price movement are caused by, let's move on to the next page, okay? Interest rate. If the US interest rate, particularly 10 years, the yield, bond yield, go up, US dollar will go up, okay? and then the gold price will going down. And also, additionally, these days, many traders on Japanese yen against US dollar are concerned about the intervention of BOJ. So BOJs always mention that if the price fluctuation of US dollar against the Japanese yen is not based on the fundamental, okay, I should say a little bit speculative of the movement, Japan will start to do the intervention. Means they will buy yen and sell US dollar. Okay, but around this level, I think BOJ will not do the intervention. So many fundamental news pressure down the rate very low, right? So they will not do the intervention. But nobody knows. Maybe today US dollar will recover to the 151 level. I guess 151.250 they might be recovered, but nobody knows. So interest rate hike or dovish and then the intervention. Okay, many investors now are struggling. Do I have to buy, the dollar, or do I have to sell US dollar against Japanese yen or euro or British pound? Yesterday, euro and the British pound were doing very good, right? I think if you were trading the euro buy or sterling, British sterling buy, you made also tremendous profit. Okay, so anyway, let me read. Japan still maintained monetary easing. Japan will not change the monetary policy from easing to tightening, okay, and will not be able to change their policy to become hawkish at this moment, and BOJ will not carry out the intervention at this range. Okay, I think if they want to do the intervention, because the price speculatively go up to more than I think 152 or higher. Okay, so this is one of the observation against the Japan side. This is my observation to Japan side. Okay, and on the contrary, I have to observe the U.S. side as well. U.S. still maintain monetary tightening and will not be able to reduce the interest rate from this level. At this moment, FRB always announced that interest rate will remain the same during the FOMC meeting, right? So FRB might change to become a dovish on FF rate, federal fund rate, next year. I presume next May to June, they might reduce the FF rate, interest rate, okay? Let's move on to the final page. Difference of interest rate between Japan and USA. As you can see, obviously, Japan interest rate is very low, 0.98%, or sometimes nearly reach to the 1%. But anyway, this is just a flat rate, okay? Sometimes minus. So we are still doing a monetary easing, and then interest rate is very low, okay? But if you look at this line, this is the American interest rate, okay? Since they are doing the monetary tightening in order to pressure down the inflation, okay, they have to increase the interest rate, FF rate, okay. Now I think they already reached to the terminal rate of the 5.25%. So, but this U.S. interest rate, if the numbers of the CPA like yesterday, if the inflation slow down, they might reduce the interest rate, but not now. Usually, as far as my experience is concerned, if they want to change the monetary policy, they may take 6 to 1 year to change the policy. So we have to be very careful, and we always watch the Fed Watch. If you open the website of the FRB, there is a Fed Watch, and you can see the percentage. Okay, the committee member they agreed to increase how many percentage. Okay, of the Fed member agreed, or they would like to reduce the interest rate, FF rate, how many percentage. Okay, so next December 13th, we have another FOMC, but 98% of the committee member would like to remain the same of the interest rate. So interest rate will not be changed to higher, but nobody knows. Maybe next year, May to April, they start to discuss about the interest rate change because inflation is already settled down. Okay, so they don't need to maintain such a high interest rate. Okay, but still, we have these big differences. Okay, so this situation might be continued. For me to say another, let's say, 6 months or 7 months. Okay, so basically, I believe this kind of monetary policy. So even you get a very good profit from the gold because the dollar's weak. Be careful. Okay, nobody knows. Maybe somebody might speak about the hawkish on interest rate. U.S. interest rate, and if the Japan side, particularly the governor, Mr. Ueda, mentioned about the dovish, again, interest rate gap will be wider. That time, U.S. dollar will become very strong, and then yen carry trading. I explained the meaning of the yen carry trading, right? Japanese yen is very cheap, so funding costs to borrow Japanese yen is very low. So people would like to borrow yen and then convert this yen to purchase the US dollar. This is called yen carry trading. Okay, so if yen carry tradings are actively executed in the market, dollar will go down. Okay, so we have to worry this yen carry trading as well, considering this difference of interest rate between Japan and the United States. So this, how to say, market structure will really influence and give the big impact to the gold price. So in order to observe the gold movement, price movement, we have to always pay attention to the US dollar, okay? And then euro and the British pound, okay? Particularly, I'm Japanese, so I always pay attention to the price movement of the US dollar against Japanese yen, okay? But sometimes, under this age of uncertainty, because of the geopolitical risks, we have still war in Ukraine, Europe, and then Middle East. So these kind of geopolitical risks will give the impact, and sometimes people would like to hedge their asset to save asset of the U.S. government bond or Japanese government bond, but mainly they would like to hedge their asset to U.S. dollar and gold. So if they volume to hedge the position to this currency market, sometimes US dollar and then Japanese yen will go up together. So we have to really think about these mainly three things, okay? So tonight, there might be some adjustment toward your gold position. I think you already settled the position yesterday with a good profit. So today, you have to be very careful. I know still gold prices remain very high, but don't enter at this moment. You have to observe. And once you see little dip going down, but of course, you have to observe dollar yen, okay? dollar index as well. And then a very important thing is a US dollar 10 years bond yield, okay? This will give the impact toward the your gold the trades business, okay? So don't be rushed to enter now. You realize the profit already, but if you still keep the position of the short, okay? I think it's depend on your margin situation, but I suggest you to keep the short position. Today, if the dollar go up, your short position will start to reduce your floating loss. And if you're lucky enough, maybe you can realize your gold short position with profit. But to get out from the market, okay? Don't take any risk at this moment. Okay, so this is my observation, what I wanted to mention to you yesterday, but yesterday we have some technical problems, so I couldn't give you spontaneous advices to you. I feel very sorry about that. Anyway, please pay great attention even today. Thank you very much for your watching. I hope today the sound system is working normal. Thank you. Stay tuned with us. Thank you very much for your watching.